Welcome, everyone. Before we dive in, be sure to drop your thoughts, feelings, and lessons in the comments below. Like the video and subscribe so you never miss stories like this. Let's get into it. Marcus Bennett's life once moved on a dependable rhythm. Up before sunrise, coffee measured. Tie knotted the same way his father taught him. A kiss pressed his wife's forehead while she slept. He worked as a systems analyst in downtown Baltimore, steady and invisible, the kind of man people trusted without thinking about it. Evenings meant the same walk from the light rail, the same stoop conversations, the same laugh when his wife, Alana, told him about her day. It wasn't flashy, but it was full. Marcus believed fullness was a form of wealth. Alana and Marcus had met in college and grown into their marriage together. She worked in compliance for a healthcare network, ambitious, disciplined, the kind of woman who kept color-coded folders and long-term goals taped inside her planner. At night, they cooked and danced in the kitchen to old R&B, bumping hips and laughing when the smoke alarm complained. Their bedroom held the warmth of familiarity. Hands finding each other easily, whispered jokes, slow Sundays that felt endless. Marcus trusted her not because she promised fidelity, but because their days felt honest. Fridays sometimes meant a pub near Marcus's office, brick walls and dim lights, a place where co-workers shook off the week. Alana liked joining him there once a month. Sitting close, her leg hooked around his ankle under the table. She knew his colleagues' names, asked about their kids. Tipped well. Marcus felt proud watching her move through his world with grace. It felt like proof that their marriage fit anywhere. When she laughed at his jokes, his chest filled with something steady and warm. Outside influences crept in quietly. Alana's friends from work talked about options, about not letting marriage shrink ambition. One friend's divorce became a case study over wine. Another friend joked about open arrangements, calling them modern and honest. Marcus noticed a shift not in words, but in pauses. Alana checked her phone more often, set it face down at dinner. She still kissed him goodnight, but sometimes her mind seemed elsewhere. Marcus told himself stress explained it. Trust meant not interrogating every silence. The first boundary change came disguised as progress. Alana mentioned carefully that monogamy felt restrictive to some people. She said she wasn't asking for anything, just thinking aloud. Marcus listened, heart beating harder than he wanted to admit. He said he believed commitment was freedom, not a cage. She smiled and dropped it, but the idea lingered like a draft in a closed room. Over the next weeks, she stayed later at work, citing audits and deadlines. Marcus cooked alone, packed leftovers, waited. At work, Marcus's routine was similarly unremarkable. He shared an office with Kevin Rhodes, a senior project manager with an impressive resume and an easy laugh. Kevin was respected, the kind of man leadership listened to. One afternoon, Kevin asked Marcus to review a corrupted file on his laptop while he took a call. Marcus sat down, opened the file, and froze. The desktop photo folder was open. Thumbnails filled the screen, intimate, unmistakable. Alana's face looked back at him, familiar and wrong. Marcus didn't shout or slam the laptop shut. His hands went cold. He recognized the bathroom tiles in one image, the birthmark on her shoulder in another. This wasn't speculation. It was proof. Kevin returned, saw Marcus's expression, and stammered something about a mistake. Marcus stood, said he'd email notes later, and walked to the restroom. He locked the stall and breathed until the shaking passed. Years of trust rearranged themselves into something sharp and precise. The pub came back to him then, the night weeks earlier when Alana surprised him after work. She'd arrived flushed, said she'd just met a colleague for a quick drink nearby. Marcus remembered the way Kevin had been unusually quiet that evening, the way Alana avoided eye contact when Marcus introduced them. That was the night she had broken up with Kevin. He realized now, only to circle back later. The coincidence tightened into a line he couldn't ignore. Over the next days, Marcus listened more than he spoke. Co-workers, unaware of what he knew, filled the space with careless truths. Someone mentioned seeing Kevin and Alana together at conferences. Another joked that Kevin didn't care who noticed. A third said HR had whispered warnings before. Marcus nodded, took notes in his head, never revealing his hand. At home, he kept routines intact. Dinners, laundry, gentle questions. Alana relaxed, mistaking calm for ignorance. Marcus found steadiness in small tasks. He updated passwords, printed bank statements, photographed shared assets. He called a lawyer during lunch, asked about separation and protections. The advice was practical, quiet, separate accounts. Document everything. Do nothing publicly until ready. At night, he slept lightly, listening to the house breathe. Alana touched him sometimes, guilt softened by familiarity. Marcus let it pass. He needed clarity more than confrontation. An unexpected connection formed where Marcus least expected it. Denise, a co-worker from accounting, started walking with him to the light rail. They talked about books, about caring for aging parents, about the relief of silence after long days. There was no flirtation, just ease. One rainy evening, she offered him half her umbrella, and he felt a warmth that surprised him. It wasn't desire, it was recognition. Someone saw him as he was. Without performance, Alana began to sense the shift. She asked more questions, tracked his schedule, left her phone unlocked in obvious ways. When Marcus didn't bite, she grew anxious. She mentioned openness again, framed it as honesty. Marcus said he believed honesty required consent, not pressure. She accused him of being rigid. He apologized for the tension and changed the subject. Control. He learned, frayed when met with calm. Marcus moved money quietly, changed direct deposits, secured his documents in a small lockbox at Denise's suggestion, practical and discreet. He scheduled a moving company for a weekday morning. Alana would be at work. The lawyer reviewed a draft separation agreement. There was no prenup, but there were protections. Marcus felt grief move through him like weather, sometimes heavy, sometimes clearing. He kept breathing. The family reunion arrived as it always did, loud and loving, a summer barbecue at his aunt's house. Alana insisted they go together. Marcus agreed. He wore the blue shirt she liked, greeted cousins, hugged elders. When dessert was served, Alana raised a toast about partnership and growth. Marcus waited for the room to settle, then spoke softly. He thanked everyone for loving them and said honesty mattered too much to pretend. He didn't yell. He named facts. He said he discovered an affair with a senior colleague, ongoing and documented. He said he had chosen separation. Murmurs moved through the yard. Alana's face drained of color. Marcus handed her the agreement, told her he'd moved out that morning. He wished her accountability and peace. Then he left, the smell of charcoal following him to the car. The consequences unfolded cleanly. Marcus forwarded the evidence to HR through proper channels. Nothing more. Compliant investigations moved slowly but thoroughly. Kevin was suspended, then terminated. Alana's role came under scrutiny. Policies mattered in her field, and violations were not theoretical. Her career, built carefully for years, collapsed into a file number and a final meeting. There were no speeches, no gloating, just outcomes. Marcus settled into a small apartment near the water. He kept mornings the same. Coffee measured, tie knotted. On weekends, he read on the balcony, listened to the city breathe. Denise remained a friend. Then, after time and clear boundaries, something gentler grew. They cooked and talked, moved slowly. Trust returned not as certainty, but as choice. Alana called once, then stopped. Marcus didn't block her. He didn't chase. Grief found its place and stayed there, manageable. He learned that love could be real and still end, that dignity could be preserved without noise. His life regained rhythm, altered but intact. Peace, he discovered, wasn't the absence of pain. It was the presence of self-respect. Years later, Marcus would remember the pub, the laptop, the umbrella in the rain. He would remember choosing calm. The city changed around him, but his morning stayed true. He had learned how to lead without losing himself, how consequences didn't need volume to be final. Quiet, in the end, was enough. And that was a lesson Marcus carried forward. Not revenge, not bitterness, but the simple power of facts, patience, and a life rebuilt with care.